Mr. President.
Senator from Minnesota.
Mr. President, I rise today along with my colleagues. I see Senator Kim is here from New Jersey, and I know Senator Bennett is here from Colorado, and you're going to also hear from Senators Welch, Baldwin, Coons, and Merkley. And really everyone in the Senate should be pretty concerned right now about what's happening with SNAP. We have 42 million Americans who rely on SNAP. And I see Senator Sanders is here as well from Vermont, who I know has visited food banks throughout his state and get what's going on right now. What's happening to these 42 million Americans, including 16 million kids, 8 million seniors, and 4 million people with disabilities, should not and does not have to happen. SNAP is critical for people who have multiple jobs, work part-time jobs, work irregular hours. I have met with so many people, particularly in rural Minnesota, who this is their lifeline. Their salaries aren't as high. Sometimes they get divorced. Sometimes they have like 4 kids. Maybe they have a kid with disability, so they can't work a full-time job all the time. These stories are heartbreaking. And it's colliding right now with the fact that grocery prices keep going up. You've seen what's happened here and there with eggs, with beef, because of the tariffs, which is going to be the subject of a major U.S. Supreme Court case tomorrow morning with everything going on. I want to remind people of that. So when this administration announced that it would not fund SNAP benefits this month, when it previously said it would, Democrats called on the administration to use its contingency fund, which we knew that it had to do, and transfer authority, which means it can allow it to transfer funds from certain places to ensure that Americans could put food on the table. Because given the escalating prices of food, we don't understand why the president chooses to show off about a marble bathroom with golden sconces as part of the Lincoln bedroom. We don't understand why the president is raising money for a gilded ballroom and demolishing the East Room. We don't understand why in the big, beautiful betrayal of a bill this summer, a decision was made by our colleagues to put up a bunch of tax cuts for the wealthiest while they cut SNAP benefits. And then this, I guess we're not surprised by this, but we knew from the very beginning when this announcement was made, as the president keeps looking for things to distract us from what's a real issue here, which is healthcare premiums, and first he says he's gonna, makes fun of people and makes light of what's going on and takes our leaders and puts sombreros on their heads in a video, and then the next thing he does is he pardons George Santos, and then the next thing he does is he needs money back from the Justice Department, taxpayer money that he wants to do, and then the next thing he does is he announces he's gonna run for a 3rd term. Steve Bannon does it, then he says, yeah, I am, then he says, no, I'm not. At some point, can people figure out what's going on here? Because look at what he's done on SNAP benefits. At first they said, yes, we understand we must fund them, which I appreciated. Brooke Rawlings said during a shutdown, they had a notice on their website, this shutdown plan that was put out literally this year. It wasn't some hangover from the Biden administration. It was something from there. And then suddenly it mysteriously vanished. But luckily we had taken a screenshot of it. So we knew what it said, and that was that it was Congress's intent to fund SNAP during any kind of a lapse in funding because of a shutdown. So they say they are going to fund it, don't worry. Then they say they're not. Then we bring it to court, and all of the states get together, 25 states, and bring it to court. Big surprise, last Friday, orders come out of 2 states, one of them binding on the nation, that says, yeah, you got to fund SNAP. So then they say, yes, we'll follow the court order. Then what happens today? Oh, well, they're only going to fund half of a hamburger. They're just going to fund half of the benefits. Then 3 hours later, the president puts it out on Truth Social that he's not going to fund any of the benefits. Then we're going to court again. This is absolutely callous. It's cold as people are scared that they're not going to feed their families. It's causing complete disarray out there as some food banks are able to get their money and some states are able to process them and other ones have different computer equipment so they're not able to. Really? That's how you're going to run a government? It's no surprise that the president's numbers on running the government and his disapproval rating have gone from 50-some, 60-some, and up because of what's going on here. These courts told the administration that they must use the contingency fund to cover SNAP benefits. And we know that the USDA has said there is currently $4.65 billion in funding. So unless you're going to use that billions of dollars to make up new bathrooms in the White House, maybe you can use it to help get people's groceries on the table. They shouldn't be forced by the courts when they know what the law says, but they have been now, and they need to follow the order. And then, in addition to that, they can use their transfer authority to make sure they transfer the money over for the remaining amount of money. Why is this happening? We're in a shutdown because our colleagues are unwilling to come to the table to talk about one simple thing, health care premiums. Do you know that 1 year of Affordable Care Act tax premiums nationally is about the same amount of money that was spent in Argentina? $20 billion. 2 years of it, about 2 years of that? Yeah, that's what they have done. They prioritized $20 billion to Argentina over the health care premiums in states of which 75% are red states won by Donald Trump. So that's why I appreciate Senator Lujan's leadership on this legislation that would basically make sure that we're continuing to fund. I appreciate what Senator Hawley did. I'm on his bill. We have all of our members that I know of would support Senator Hawley's bill that would fund this during the shutdown. So why don't we call that bill up for a vote? This has been going on for too long. The roadmap was clear this summer when they cut billions and billions of dollars from SNAP and shifted over $80 billion to the states and then rewarded the states with the highest error rate in order to pass that bill. That happened this summer. Now here we are today, and I guess I'm not surprised, but I know that my colleagues care about these people in their states. So we're asking them to pressure the president to stop this mess, come to the table, negotiate it, call back the House from their 6-week vacation so they get back there to the negotiating table and we get through this shutdown and we come back into the regular order of the government. But during that time, don't put this on the backs of people that can't afford food. And don't decide and show off about a marble bathroom while someone is standing in a grocery line not getting their SNAP card through. It's an outrage. Mr. President, I yield the floor.